A pilgrimage is a journey made for moral or spiritual reasons to a special or sacred place for the purpose of changing, healing, teaching, or inspiring the pilgrim. The pilgrim experiences transformation. The journey reveals truths about the world and oneself. The pilgrim sees things previously missed or unclear. The pilgrim gains insight and inspiration. The pilgrim's journey is not a vacation. Pilgrim's journey does not have neatly planned nightly hotel stays, visits to tourist attractions, or meals at local hotspot eateries. The pilgrim's journey is an adventure. When undertaken as a group, pilgrimage not only transforms the individual, but the group as well. The group becomes bonded in ways they didn't expect. Relationships deepen, strengthen, become more meaningful. Pilgrimage is common to all the world's major religious traditions, including our own Unitarian Universalism. Well-known pilgrimage from the world's religions include the Camino de Santiago de Compostela in Spain, the Kumano Kodo Trail in Japan, which are the only two pilgrimage sites on the United Nations list of World Heritage Sites. But there are also the journey to Lourdes, the journey to Jerusalem, the journey to Bethlehem, the Hajj to Mecca, the trip to Bodh Gaya, the place where the Buddha gained enlightenment near Bihar, India. The Appalachian Trail is a pilgrimage where, quite indeed, the journey itself is the destination all rolled into one. Unitarian Universalist pilgrimages include our Civil Rights Heritage Trail through the major sites of civil rights activism from the Civil Rights era, including the High School of Little Rock and the bridge at Selma, Alabama, and Birmingham, and all the rest. Unitarian Universalists from around the country take their people in coming of age on a pilgrimage to Boston to see our Unitarian Universalist headquarters and the Arlington Street, once the Federal Street Church of William Channing, to the Church of the Presidents in Quincy to see our Unitarian Universalist presidents in the crypts in the basement, John Adams and John Quincy Adams, to Emerson's house in Concord. They come to see all the sites on pilgrimage from all over the country, from all our congregations. Our General Assembly each year is a pilgrimage many Unitarian Universalists make yearly, a pilgrimage that changes sites. Even here in our own congregation, pilgrimage is part of our story. I and some of you have made a pilgrimage to Czechoslovakia in Transylvania, the home of Unitarianism. We have recently, just in a sense, completed a pilgrimage on the journey toward becoming a welcoming congregation. Sometimes pilgrimage is an inner journey. The 12 steps in recovery can be a pilgrimage. Conversion to a new religion can be a pilgrimage. Developing a deep spiritual practice is a pilgrimage. Life itself is a pilgrim journey toward death. All these pilgrimages are storied. Legions of pilgrim first-hand accounts exist, telling of lessons learned, diseases healed, and insights gained. Pilgrimages are also at the center of many of our culture's most famous and favorite stories. Chaucer's Canterbury Tales is a story wherein pilgrims going to Canterbury entertain each other on the way with various stories. Dorothy's journey to Oz is a pilgrimage. Luke's visit to Dagobah to find Yoda is a pilgrimage. Bilbo's travel to Rivendell after giving Bilbo the ring is a pilgrimage. In the novel Shoeless Joe and the movie Field of Dreams, Ray Kinsella makes a pilgrimage to Fenway Park, as he should have. where he sees the vision instructing him to find moonlight ground. When Ray was at Fenway Park, he didn't know what was going to happen. The fruits of the pilgrimage are almost always not exactly what the pilgrim was expecting. That is the way with transformative experiences, after all. You cannot map them out ahead of time. You must trust the experience and the process to change you as it will. You trust that the transformation will happen as much in the journey itself as in the pilgrim destination. Often, pilgrims overcome hardships on the pilgrim journey, or have to conquer some fear or obstacle even to just begin. Sometimes pilgrimages are last resorts for people or groups who are ready to try just about anything to change their circumstances or rattle their perspective. Pilgrimages, again, are not vacations or weekend getaways. I had, as I was reading this morning, this long account from Exodus of the Jews' pilgrimage to Canaan where they get to the Red Sea. And this is the tale I think most of us, if we're familiar with the text or the story, know, especially if we've seen Charlton Heston portray Moses at this point. Moses raises the staff, the waters part. But there's a wonderful rabbinic tale that talks about part of the story that's not in the scriptural text. And it goes like this. The rabbis explain that when he gets to the shore of the Red Sea, Moses raises his staff as the Lord instructs and nothing happens. Moses is looking around, expecting to hear another voice from God. He looks back at Aaron. Aaron says, "Go on." So Moses walks out up to his ankles into the water. Still nothing happens. He tries the staff again. Nothing. He walks out up to his knees. Tries the staff again. Nothing. He looks back at Aaron. Again, Aaron is, "Go, trust the Lord, go." He goes up to his neck. He can't raise the staff. It's now too hard to lift that up above to raise it. And he doesn't know what to do next. Aaron continues to motion, "Go forth, trust in the Lord." Moses takes another few steps. And at the instant the water covers the top of his head, the great wind comes and the Red Sea parts. Quite frequently, it is not until we are in over our heads that the way forward becomes clear. Many pilgrimages are like this. You cannot always fully prepare for a pilgrimage, and you can't always plan to understand what's going to happen. Moses' story here from the rabbis reminds me of a Zen tradition where people will make a pilgrimage to the Zen master or make a pilgrimage through the journey of Zen itself to learn spiritual insight. In the Zen tradition, the teaching is done by koans, questions that have difficult riddles in them that the practitioner is supposed to decipher. The first koan most Zen practitioners are given is called Joshu's dog. And the koan is this. The new monk comes to Joshu and asks Joshu, the Zen master, "Does a dog have Buddha nature?" Joshu answers, "Mu." Chinese, it's Wu, and Korean and Japanese, it's Mu. It's not answered. And the Zen practitioner, when he's given, or she is given this koan, is asked, "Well, why does Joshu say Mu?" Mu has the sense of, no, that's not quite right, wrong. And it seems not an answer for Joshu to give, because in Buddha's teaching, all sentient beings have Buddha nature. So why Mu? Maybe Joshu is playing with the monk, because he thinks the monk's playing with him, asking a question he should already know the answer to. Maybe Joshu answers the question in a way that tells the monk, "You are not asking the right question yet." So mu in the Zen tradition has come to mean, Joshu says, you need to find the correct question. That is not the right question. Does the dog have Buddha nature? And remember, this is the first question students get on their Zen journey. Go find the right question. Go find the right questions, is Joshu's answer to the one. An example from our own culture is questions such as, Senator, when did you stop beating your wife? Yes is no good as an answer because it means you did beat your wife, while no is not a good response because you're admitting you're still being abusive. Mu is a good response to this question. It's not the right question. It's a trap question. It avoids the real question needing to be asked. It's like, does a dog have Buddha nature? Mu. Go find the right questions. Today, after the service, we're going to have a congregational meeting. In many respects, this has been a successful year for us, as we gave thanks for a whole list of accomplishments at our offering. And as you have this meeting with each other, I'm going to encourage you not to get bogged down in the mu questions. There are budget matters to discuss, and I think a lot of them are mu questions. What to cut, what staff to fund, how many hours for people. Mu. These really aren't the right questions. Yes, we need to answer them and we need to move on. There's got to be a budget for next year. These are practical matters. But as I recall, last year we debated all these things too. And we're asking them again. And I think if we don't want to be asking them again next year, we need to start treating these questions with mu. Maybe it's not quite the right question. Instead of dealing with these questions, these mu questions, I'm going to advise that we go on a pilgrimage. I think we keep getting to the mu questions because we haven't completely yet decided where this pilgrimage is going. So we keep asking, does a dog have Buddha nature, instead of where we go? I think that question is worth exploring because answering it provides the answer to many other questions. For example, if you choose to go on a pilgrimage that takes you through the mountains, you need a walking stick, a backpack, and some pork, maybe even some cold weather gear, and a very good sleeping bag. But you won't need to spend money on life jackets, because you're not going on the pilgrimage across the water. Sometimes we don't feel like going on a pilgrimage. We just want to stay in the comfort of home. But sometimes the only way to get home is to go out on the journey and come back, like Bilbo did, there and back again. Phil Cousineau in The Art of Pilgrimage writes, the pilgrim cycle replays nature's pattern of regeneration, a journey consisting of departure, arrival, and return. Padraig Otuma gives an interesting insight into this story about Jesus. It's kind of like Moses needing to go in over his head. The disciples are certainly in over their heads. And they see Jesus walking on the water and they can't believe this. Not only that he's walking on the water, he's doing it in a raging storm. And they're scared to death, being tossed around in the boat, afraid for their lives. And Otuma notes that the point of this story is not about a miracle of somebody walking on top of water, but it's a story about being present in the middle of a chaos, in the middle of a storm. Jesus tells them, it is I. You know me. And then he tells the storm, the part we didn't get to, he says, be quiet. Be still. But the original Greek, the word used means to muzzle, like you put a muzzle on an animal. Muzzle the storm. Tamp down the chaos. It is I. I am here with you in this. That's the point of the story, not that somebody was walking on top of water. When we are that kind of presence like Jesus for each other, It is I. Let's muzzle the storm, tamp down the chaos. When we do that, we have a good chance, a better chance of finding the better questions to ask. So I'm going to encourage us to find better questions together. Let's go on the pilgrimage. Let's pick a destination such as becoming a revitalized, active, very alive congregation. Let's be innovative and creative in response to the challenges that the pilgrim journey is certainly going to throw in front of us. Let's allow ourselves to be challenged and changed by the experience of taking this journey together. The pilgrim journey itself is what shapes and reshapes and changes us. But we have to be willing to pick a pilgrim destination and then go and have the experience. Again, as Bilbo did, going there and back again. Going on a pilgrimage will transform us, possibly into something different, something we never anticipated, that we couldn't see coming if we don't go on the journey. But we can only be transformed if we have the courage to ask the right questions and find the right questions. We can only be transformed if we have the courage to get in just a little bit over our heads.